So I got absolutely drilled in the comments of my Warpath review. You mentioning several times that this isn't the Warpath we are accustomed to is showing how young you are. You gotta do some homework before these reviews. At the normal looking Warpath? To me, this is the definitive Warpath. I think his traditional look is a generational thing. Okay, so maybe I shouldn't say I got drilled in the comments, more like schooled in the comments. I said that this is not our traditional fan favorite look, but it's very different. Overall, this is a nice looking figure, a Warpath that isn't the definitive or normal looking Warpath. And boy, that was a mistake. So this is the 90s classic Warpath. This is what he's meant to look in the X-Force. And because I'm a younger person, I was born in the 90s. But I was an infant in the 90s pretty much. The only Warpath I've came to know is the Uncanny X-Force Warpath. So when I saw this, I figured this was a non-traditional look. Thank you guys for letting me know down in the comments, and I thank you for those who understood me.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Hey, what's up guys? Eero94 back with another action figure review, and today we are finally at our build a figure review of the Strong Guy from the Deadpool Marvel Legends Wave 3, I think it is, if I'm not mistaken. So another contribution to our X Factor. I'll go ahead and build him on screen for you guys. I know sometimes when I don't do that, I get requests for some reason that you guys want to see me do it on screen, so I'll go ahead and do that for you guys on screen. So if you haven't seen all of my reviews, I have reviewed this entire wave individually. I started it off with Pirate Deadpool, which was the most unique and surprising release of this wave. Continued it on with the X-Men version of Deadpool. This is a Deadpool wave, so we did get two Deadpools in this wave. It was a new and updated Deadpool, and then we got onto Warpath, which I will never forget that review, of course. After Warpath, I reviewed Shikla and Jeff the Land Shark, and then I ended it off with Maverick, Sunspot, and then last but not least, Black Tom, which I reviewed earlier today. Strong Guy, Guido Carosella, first appeared in New Mutants number 29. So he has the ability to rekindle kinetic energy into physical strength, and his affiliations include the X Factor Investigations and Singularity Investigations. Guido then joined the X Factor, which consisted of Havoc, Polaris, Wolfsbane, and Quicksilver, where he eventually received the name Strong Guy. Now, one of the first villains that he faced was Mr. Sinister. So as you can see, I'm trying not to get schooled in the comments again. So how did I do, fellas? We need a total of 7 figures to build our Strong Guy. One right arm, one left arm, right leg, left leg. Torso is all one piece, the upper and the lower torso, but then we have the back side, which is a separate piece. So it's only the front half of the torso. This half is a separate piece, as you can see. They packed that one in with another figure. And then of course we have the head that is packed in separately too. So the figure that is 2 per case is our X-Men Deadpool. So Hasbro really isn't playing around when it comes to X-Men Marvel Legends. They've really been pumping out X-Men Legends for the past couple years now, and they're giving us a lot of 90s love, building teams, and I know a lot of it has to do with the toy community, communicating with them during conventions, and they're actually listening to their fans, which is very nice of a toy company to always do. So as you can see, our Strong Guy Build-A-Figure is very bulky at the top, a little bit slimmer at the bottom. That's how his design is, and this is obviously a brand new sculpt. We have the silver portions of the arms painted. The blue portion is the plastic mold, and so is the hands. I did get a comment in one of my Instagram posts when I posted this a picture of this figure that somebody thought these fists were actually reused from the Incredible Hulk from the 80th anniversary, and that is not the case. I'll do a comparison later on, but these are actually smaller than that Hulk fist. Those are a lot bigger compared to this. So not as big, maybe it's a down scale of that mold, but we'll check that out later on in the video. Right now, I do want to give you guys a closer look at the actual figure and the details and the new head sculpt and everything this thing has to offer for you guys. Since this is all we're getting, we do not have any alternate heads, hands, or any separate accessories. This is exactly what you get with this Build-A-Figure. Here's the new head sculpt, and it looks really good. You got the little swirl hair on the very front of the forehead, the glasses, and then the sculpt of the teeth, the mouth, and the expression overall is done very well. So on my specific Strong Guy, we can see that we do get some paint that has bled onto the red lens of the glasses, unfortunately, and that is on my particular strong guy. Obviously, this varies within all of the strong guy Build-A-Figure pieces, but you definitely got to watch out for this. I'm pretty happy that the X on his torso has been done very well. That's good, and everything else looks really good because all of this is just plastic mold. It's not paint. More added detail like a painted zipper of course would make the figure look a lot better. It's definitely something I could see people painting themselves eventually or shading the figure entirely. But that's enough of a close look. Let's pan out here and check out his articulation. So our head is on a double ball peg here. It's not a hinge. It is a ball jointed peg. So pop it back on. He's going to be able to look up just a little bit here, but there is some range there, so that's good. He can look down about that far. Left and right. The collar gets in the way a little bit, but he can still look left and right just fine, good enough to get some good images or poses. The head tilts slightly as well, or a pivot on the head, however you want to call that. So that's good too. Arms are going to go forward all the way back, 360. As you can see, everything holds well. In and out about that far. We do not get bicep swivels. It's pretty chunky up here, so it's very limited. We only get single jointed elbows, but it does bend at a nice 90-degree angle. It swivels at the elbow. At the wrist, we get a swivel, we get a hinge, we get a diaphragm joint at that torso. So it stretches back about this far, and you can crunch him forward, tilt him to the sides, and of course the swivel at the torso is there as well. So that does replace a waist swivel. He does not have a waist swivel, even though it looks like he can have one. The legs are T-jointed, so he does kick forward, but the range isn't as far as some other figures. As you see, that's about how high he can go. His legs stretch out about this far apart. Apparently everyone always wants to know if figures can do splits, but no, strong guy cannot. But, you know, pretty good flexibility here for such a big guy. We of course get the thigh swivel, we get the double jointed knees. We do not get any boot cut or boot shin swivels, even though that was probably a missed opportunity to hide one right here at this little ankle cuff. But we do get an ankle rocker that hinges forward and back, and an ankle rocker that rocks to the sides like this. So as we know, with bigger, bulkier, chunky figures, articulation is expected to be limited, but I think Hasbro did the best they could do with this character's design. So first up I have Forge and Mystique, and we have one more member of the X Factor. We got Multiple Man on the right side, and I figured I'd throw in one of his first villains that he faced. We have Mr. Sinister on the left side. So as you see, Sinister is actually a really tall figure, but Strong Guy just showing how much taller he is. So Strong Guy's actual height in the world of the comics is about 7 feet tall. According to the Marvel database, Multiple Man stands about 5'11", so this seems about right. If he was 5'11", close to 6 feet tall, that space, that gap between their heights seems about right. I think he looks like he's about a 7 foot tall. Now, also according to the Marvel database, Sinister, or Mr. Sinister, is supposed to be about 6'5", so I'm going to try to stand him straight up, and he should be 6'5". He seems to be leaning a little bit right now, but I think that isn't too far off. And here's a look at him with the X Factor 2-pack of Havoc and Polaris. We are getting our X Factor crew together here. I'll throw in Multiple Man with the group, and I'll throw in Forge too. I need to get me a Quicksilver for sure. I have yet to get that 3-pack from Amazon, but I should get to that before I regret it for sure, before it sells out. Alright, so here's a look at him with the Incredible Hulk from the 80th anniversary 2-pack, and you can see how much bigger the Hulk is compared to Strong Guy. And then you can take a look at the fist. They do kind of look like they're the same sculpt, but obviously you see this one's a lot bigger than Strong Guy. If I turn him to the side, you can definitely see the difference in size on those fists. If I can get it to focus, there you go. So overall, it's just a bigger scale, of course, as you see. So here you can definitely see it is the same sculpt, just a downscale version of the Hulk's fist. There's that look there, and then obviously here that pretty much seals the deal there. And then just to get him compared to another big, bulky Build-A-Figure, we have the Rhino Build-A-Figure. And here is the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure. They did re-release this one with the Colossus 2-pack, which I do still need to get around to grabbing just for that Colossus for sure. I still like this Build-A-Figure, so I'll probably be keeping Build since I think they did change the head sculpt. But here's a look at him standing a lot taller than Strong Guy. And just because I did indeed miss this in my Black Tom Cassidy review, here's a quick look at the Juggernaut next to him. I did say I was going to show him next to some other X-Men mutants, so I'll just start off with Cyclops here. And here he is next to Wolverine. Next up I have Jubilee, we have Beast, there's Cannonball, then we got Cable, and I'll throw in Rogue right there. So let's run through one more time these 7 figures required to build yourself this Strong Guy. We'll start off with Warpath. We'll put them in there tight so we can fit everybody here in frame as best we can. We have Black Tom Cassidy up next. Sunspot. Then we have Shikla. Maverick has some decent height to him, so I'll put him in the back over here. And of course everyone knows about Pirate Deadpool. And here is our 7th figure, X-Men version of Deadpool. And last but not least, we have Jeff the Land Shark. So there you have it, guys. I present to you the Deadpool Strong Guy Build-A-Figure wave of Marvel Legends. What do you guys think of the entire wave overall? I have reviewed every figure here individually, so if you missed out on any of them, be sure to check them out for a more in-depth look at them. But it's nice seeing them all in one shot. I think this is a pretty solid wave, and what's funny about this is that this is a Deadpool wave. We do get 2 Deadpool figures, but I don't think those are going to be the figures people are going to go after. I think people are going to go after Warpath for sure. I think he's probably the best figure in this wave, not counting the Build-A-Figure, and then people are going to go after Maverick in my opinion. Leaving Pirate Deadpool and X-Men Deadpool possibly the peg warmers of the wave, if there's any peg warmers at all. Seeing them all in one shot does look good, and you can just see the scale of Strong Guy just towering over them. Alright guys, thank you guys for tuning in to all of my reviews of the Deadpool Strong Guy Build-A-Figure wave. Hopefully it made you decide whether or not you wanted to spend your money on this wave or not. If so, let me know which figure you're most excited for down below. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask, and I'll try my best to post anything on Instagram that needs to get posted. Guys, so you know the drill. Leave a like down below, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and the bell notification, and as always, have a great day. Bye.
That's crispy.